Warm weather is on its way, and what better way to defrost from this chilly winter than to explore all of the attractions the city has in store. Hello, I'm Corey Meredith.
And I'm Madison Elliott. The LaSalle community was sent into a frenzy Monday, March 16th after a stabbing occurred in the dining hall. We have more on this incident coming up. This is LTV News, where the action never stops.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of LTV News, where we bring you everything LaSalle, Philadelphia, and world news.
We have a full show for you this episode. Reporter Gavin Lichtenstein sits down with two members of SPIN, special people in the Northeast, to discuss what they are doing to help families with disabilities.
And later, Steve Graham brings you the debate panel on Philadelphia sports with some special guests. But first, let's get to some LaSalle news. The latest news surrounding the school has sent students into concern. According to LaSalle Security, it was reported that on Monday afternoon, an unidentified person wearing a LaSalle hoodie and a red hat stabbed a Jack and Jill ice cream delivery man in the bathroom at the Blue and Gold Dining Hall. No one has been caught yet, and the 26-year-old attacked was sent to the Einstein Hospital. He was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. We wish him a fast recovery.
On a lighter note, it is not often you hear about similarities in urban and rural environments. However, Cody Swan, Kelsey McCabe, and Jessica Seaman presented to the LaSalle faculty and students in the Holroyd Atrium on March 11th to discuss the possibility of urban gardens contributing to the community as a new business. Student leaders from the environmental community of Alny explored the history of food security in America. The audience was separated into smaller groups to debate economical situations and the pros and cons of urban gardens. The groups reached a consensus that religious, nonprofit, and federal programs will all benefit this idea that leads to nutritional awareness, community involvement, and an attraction to small businesses with employment opportunities.
Each year, the Brothers Gubillion Rousseau Justice Award is presented to a LaSalle faculty member for their hard work and dedication. This year, Sherilyn Rush, the Multicultural Educator Coordinator, won this prestigious award. Reporter Anna Gomez has more.
As part of the opening of LaSalle University's Heritage Week, Dr. Mary Fox delivered a lecture in the De La Salle Chapel on LaSallian Association. Fox is a professor of interdisciplinary studies at St. Mary's University and explained what LaSallian Association is and why it matters. In both her field of study and the discussion on Monday, Dr. Fox focused on how experience shapes LaSallian learning and how LaSallian learning shapes experiences. The evening kicked off, however, with the presentation of this year's Brother Rousseau Justice Award. This award is given to the individual who exemplifies the LaSallian value of being together by association. This year's recipient was Multicultural Education Coordinator Sherilyn Rush. If you don't know Sherilyn Rush, you have certainly seen her on campus speaking with students and generally being an active member of the LaSalle community. Students, administrators, and alumni all cheered for Sherilyn as she was granted this award, and it was obvious this award was well-deserved to Miss Rush. And in true fashion, Sherilyn spent much of the better part of the evening talking to so many people that she had made an impact on, all of whom celebrated with her in this honor. For LTV News, I'm Anna Gomez.
Thank you, Anna, and congratulations to Sherilyn. The next event coming up on campus is the popular Campus Moviefest. CMF is the world's largest student film festival. Take a look at some of the films from last year. Campus Moviefest is the world's largest student film festival and premiere outlet. The program travels to campuses all over the United States, providing students with everything they need to make a 5-minute movie in 1 week, including camcorders and Apple laptops. Campus Moviefest is returning to LaSalle from March 25th to the 31st, but let's take a look at some of last year's winners.
I heard he fathered 3 kids in Guatemala.
Yeah, he's like 45 years old.
One time I saw him punch a dumpster.
Whatever, he's so dreamy.
Yeah, he's so cute. He's on academic probation.
Oh my god, that's
charming.
awesome.
Gallons for a 2.5 foot hole. If everything goes according to plan, we can sneak into the lab through a key card. Call it a day.
Of course, we have to mix the chemicals. And don't spill any either. You remember what happened last time?
Really, dude? You're still hung up on that?
It's great. She's pretty cool.
Congratulations to last year's winners and good luck to all who are participating this year. From LTV News, I'm reporter Corey Meredith. If you are interested in participating, you can sign up in the Union from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Wednesday, March 25th. You will have until March 31st to complete your movie and hand it in.
Now we are going to take you off campus to see what LaSalle students did over their spring breaks. While many students travel to exotic places, go home, or visit friends, many other students participate in service trips. Last episode, we introduced you to the coordinators of a special trip, Project Appalachia, which headed down to Harlan, Kentucky. The 26 students who went to the rural Appalachian Mountains spent their week building houses and hope for low-income families. Partnering with the nonprofit organization COAP, the students spent their time on 3 different work sites. They worked with a handful of carpenters who oversaw their work and helped them along the way. It was a very productive trip as the students finished an addition on a house, painted the interior of our entire home, shoveled the 20 inches of snow covering parking lots, and volunteered at a soup kitchen 2 different nights delivering food to the elderly. The week was spent bonding and making a difference for the lives of the people in Harlan.
Reporter Ryan Wall had a chance to interview some LaSallians and see what other people were doing on their spring break. Take a look.
What's up, LaSalle? We're here on South Campus finding out what our fellow explorers did over spring break. So Rachel, tell us what you did over spring break.
I went on a travel study to London.
Wow, so what did you see in London?
Everything. We saw so much every day. We packed every day. We saw Westminster Abbey and the Tower of London and a bunch of museums and galleries.
Nothing exciting. I definitely spend a lot of time sleeping and watching Netflix, and I saw some of my family, so that was fun.
That sounds very exciting to me. What show did you catch up on Netflix?
House of Cards.
Oh my gosh, I love House of Cards. That is such a good show. You guys should all watch House of Cards.
I went to Florida with my parents.
That sounds cool. So you got to escape the horrible winter weather in Philadelphia?
Yeah, of course. And then it snowed the day we were supposed to come back, so then we got stuck in Miami for 2 extra days, and it was fabulous.
I didn't do much. I work at the Philadelphia Inquirer, so I went there. And I mean, I guess I saw a couple movies. I think probably the most exciting thing I did was I watched Boyhood, and I heard that was one of the favorites for Best Picture. So I guess that was a good use of my time. That, and I watched a lot of House of Cards, so that was fun.
I love House of Cards. That's such an awesome show. So tell us about dealing with SEPTA and the snow and everything like that. Was it easy to get around the city?
It was all right for the most part. I mean, once the main stuff died down, I mean, SEPTA did their part to get everything together. And I know the night of the big storm, they were offering free transportation to the Flyers game, so that was pretty cool on their part. It wasn't too terrible.
Let's see. Over spring break, I pretty much did a lot of the same things I do here, but I got to sit at my dining room table in my PJs. Grading papers, getting classes ready, that kind of thing. Nothing real exciting, but a nice rest.
Sounds like everyone had a great time on their spring break. I'm Ryan Wall, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Ryan. Now that we have covered LaSalle news, let's get into some Philadelphia news. Madison, take it away.
Thanks, Corey. Wake up, Philadelphia. It's time to stop hibernating in your homes and get out there and enjoy the city and the weather because spring is finally here. A great way to embrace spring is the Macy's Flower Show. According to visitphilly.com, from March 22nd until April 4th, you can view hundreds of flowers in the spectacular Grand Court of Macy's. Feel like getting your feet into gear after that long winter? Join thousands of people that will be participating in the Broad Street Run on May 3rd. Running not your style? Explore your creative side by touring the Art of the Brick exhibition at the Franklin Institute going on now through September 6th.
Lastly, starting April 6th, Comcast will launch a new show called Breakfast on Broad. According to Philly.com, the show will feature sports, weather, and traffic. However, its goal is to avoid the straight news feed, like the other shows on Comcast. Instead, it will focus on the other aspects of athletes, such as what they are doing in the off the field, and express more opinion and discussion. LaSalle alumnus Jillian Mealy will be one of the hosts, who has been a traffic reporter on NBC 10. It is Comcast's hope to bring original programming back to its network.
One of the top places to work in the region is a nonprofit organization called Special People in the Northeast. It works to create opportunities for over 3,500 children, adults, and families. Reporter Gavin Lichtenstein had the chance to sit down with 2 members of SPIN. He will give you more.
Hello and welcome. I'm Gavin Lichtenstein. what is Philadelphia doing for for special individuals in the city? Well, today we look to answer some of those questions. Now, I'm joined by Bernice McHale and Katie Doherty, who are working with a program called SPIN, who is working with individuals to really give them that experience. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us here.
Welcome.
So let's get into it. What is SPIN?
Okay. SPIN is a nonprofit organization that supports adults and children in the Philadelphia and surrounding areas with people with intellectual disabilities. We also support people in the Lehigh Valley area. SPIN does this in a variety of ways. We do this through working with people at our Norcom Community Center, which is a center that's an inclusive center for people with and without disabilities. We do this in our residential programs. Currently we have 254 people that we support in the community, living and working and recreating in the community. We do this also through our children's services programs. SPIN began over 45 years ago as a summer camp and has grown into an organization that is a top place to work, voted by employees, and also known nationally as, or internationally, I guess, as a top 125 training program. So we're very proud of our organization. We've grown by leaps and bounds through the years. And today we're here to talk a little bit about our children's services program and to share with the community some opportunities for people to learn a little bit more about our children's services programs and what we have to offer.
Oh, fantastic. Now, I'm told that many campuses are involved, that SPIN is really all around the Philadelphia area. Now, Kate, can you tell us a little bit about where SPIN really focuses and what the college campus is?
We have two campuses with 3 buildings, 3 licensed buildings. We are in the northeast part of the Philadelphia. We have lower northeast and then the upper northeast. The lower northeast is located in the Frankfurt section of the city, and the upper northeast is located near the Northeast Airport. And both of these centers are, they provide services for children basically getting preschool services.
Wow.
Preschool is ages 3 to 5, and we provide a variety of programs. We have child care. People pay because they need child care for their child so they can go to work. We also have early intervention programs. They're programs that are specifically designed to support children with disabilities. But in addition to them, we have Head Start and Pre-K Counts programs, which are free programs that we partner with the School District of Philadelphia to provide to the children in the community. And basically, SPIN got into these, started providing these services so that we could provide inclusive opportunities for children with disabilities. Many years ago when I had my first son was born with Down syndrome, and SPIN is the agency that I chose to use to provide support to me and my family and my son. And so when he turned 5 and went to his regular school, I decided I wanted to get a job there at SPIN. And at that time, there were few preschool programs. Yeah. And when you have a child with the special needs, the more that you can include him in the community and provide interaction with typical peers, the stronger support you have. Because these children are supposed to be included in everyday life. So it's very rewarding when you see children with disabilities interacting with typical children, and it's beneficial on both parts because it begins a life of introduction into the real world, but it also provides typical children with the opportunity to see that not everyone is the same and that some people may or may not need more support.
Now, and kind of speaking on getting them involved in everyday life, I'm told you guys have some real big events coming up. Can you tell us a little bit about what you have in the spring and certainly the summer months?
Sure, we just got through a couple of big events at our organization. We have something called SPIN Live, which we have a SPIN choir that performs. So we had that, we just had that. But we are having a golf outing coming up in May. And also a big event that's coming up in the fall is our 5K. It's our annual 5K, which is a major fundraising event for our organization, where we invite people from the community who would like to run in the 5K or walk. and be a part of our mission sharing and a life of possibilities.
Now, if someone wants to get involved, who should they contact?
To contact, they should contact the corporate office at SPIN. I can give a phone number if you would like, but they can contact, they can go on our website at www.spininc.org, and we have links to our events there.
Excellent.
If they were interested in volunteering at the events, we have those opportunities as well.
Fantastic. Well, ladies, thank you so much for stopping by. Your time is greatly appreciated, and we will be back after this quick commercial break. Thank you for joining us.
What a great organization. Thanks, Gavin. Now we are moving out of the city and into some world news. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton hits reply following her recent email allegations accusing the former Secretary of State of using a personal email account for classified state communication. In a news conference sponsored by the United Nations earlier this month, Hillary called her decision to use a private email account during her tenure as Secretary of State as a choice based on convenience to her lifestyle. Looking back, Clinton admits it would have been better to carry two separate devices, but at the time, she did not see it as an issue.
Looking back, it would have been better for me to use two separate phones and two email accounts. I thought using one device would be simpler, and obviously it hasn't worked out that way.
A Black Hawk helicopter carrying 11 troopers went down just off the coast of Florida in a heavy fog on March 11th. According to USA Today, the helicopter crashed into the water at a high speed, causing it to break apart. Pieces of the wreck were found 25 feet underwater early last Wednesday morning. The 4 National Guardsmen who were killed were finally named. They are Chief Warrant Officer George Wayne Griffin Jr., Chief Warrant Officer George David Strother, Staff Sergeant Lance Bergen, and Staff Sergeant Thomas Florich. Their memory will forever be etched on the hearts of those who knew them.
A jury has come to a final ruling in the 2-year-long court battle between the creators of the hit song Blurred Lines and Marvin Gaye's family. The jury decided that Robin Thicke and Pharrell Williams will pay the Gaye family a total sum of $7.3 million due to a lack of accreditation to Gaye's hit song Got to Give It Up. The ruling may set a precedent for future music creations. This has the music industry questioning whether similar but not identical lyrics and rhythms will now be in jeopardy of lawsuits. Only time will tell, as these blurred lines are very prominent for the time being.
We are going to take a quick break, but make sure to stay tuned. Steve Graham sits down with a student and special guest to discuss Philadelphia sports and the state of every team.
For LTV News.
I'm Corey Meredith.
I'm reporter Madison Elliott.
Hello, I'm Brendan Rigney here.
And welcome to LTV News. Let's step back and take a look at the world. I'm here to tell you what's a buzz in Philadelphia.
Let's check it out.
It's an eclectic mix. I don't think that this tax is the way to do it.
We actually have a little celebration going on, and
I think it's a step in the right direction. I'm sitting down with my friend and fellow colleague for LaSalle TV, Jacob Smolinski.
We've got Miss Pinup, we've got Mr. Classy Designer.
Polarizing news reporter and political commentator Chris Matthews.
September 28th was a most auspicious day for the 52nd annual Puerto Rican Day Parade.
Finagling his way back into her life is Brendan Rigney, LTV charmer.
Alongside of me, SGA president and dear friend, Muffy Torres.
Groovy. Now let's talk fashion.
Reporter Steve Graham had the opportunity to cover the event.
the talent is evidently here.
Big plans.
So, I don't know, some really great things going on.
114th Infantry Company, Iraq.
The memories are all blurred.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
The words, they're hard to find.
I came back a different person.
I wonder if she's better off without me.
You just feel alone.
You gave all to the cause of freedom. Now it's our turn to give our all to you. It's free and totally confidential. Reach us at operationnotforgotten.com. We are here.
Cyberbullying comes in many forms and can happen 24/7. If you or someone you know is a victim of cyberbullying, take preventative and assertive action. Keep evidence and document all instances. Remember to record dates, times, descriptions, and also save and print screenshots. Block your cyberbully and present your evidence to school officials or law enforcement. No one deserves to be a victim of cyberbullying, and together we can end it. For more information, visit stopbullying.com.
Welcome back. I am Steve Graham here today on today's discussion panel to discuss one of the hottest topics throughout the tri-state area today. It's Philadelphia sports, their current state of all its craziness and free agency and regular season play and college basketball as well as we approach the tournament. But today on my discussion panel, I have to my left Tommy McIntyre of the class of 2017, sophomore here at LaSalle, who is a passionate Philadelphia sports fan, along with Tyler Harper, the host of LTV's own Sports Talk Philadelphia. Excuse me.
You've only been on the show a couple times.
Yeah, only a couple times. But to start things off, we have to start with Chip Kelly's Eagles. Of the past 2 weeks, we've lost Nick Foles, LaShawn McCoy, Jeremy Macklin, Todd Hermans, Trent Cole. The list goes on. And as this news came out, that all of us were fans of Philadelphia kept saying, what's next? What is this idea Chip Kelly has? What are you guys thinking of this future of this team as we're approaching draft day? After all these free agency moves, what's going on?
I have no idea. I mean, I don't think anybody really truly knows. I think after they signed DeMarco Murray, people were a little like, oh, maybe we'll be okay because now you got a running back that just led the league in rushing. But at the same time, we've got so many holes. Still don't have a safety. We need another starting safety. Not having Nate Allen now, and you could question we had a starting safety last year with Nate Allen. So I mean, and another corner. I mean, yeah, we might have signed Maxwell. We got Thurman coming in here from the Giants, and we don't know if he was hurt. We don't even know if he's going to be able to compete for that job with Boykin. So a lot of question marks.
And Tyler, after all of these moves happen with the free agency, draft day is approaching. Late April, it's coming. Who do the Eagles need now? Do they need a safety, or is there more offensive threats they need as well?
Well, there are a lot of areas you can focus on, Steve. I mean, Tommy's right. They do need another safety to complement Malcolm Jenkins and the defensive secondary. A lot of mock drafts I see have them drafting a cornerback to try to complement Thurmond, Maxwell, and Brandon Boykin. But until Roger Goodell says his name for another team, I'm not putting it out of my head that Chip Kelly doesn't want Marcus Mariota, that he doesn't want to try to trade up to get his boy wonder quarterback, the national champion, national champion runner-up, and Heisman winner from Oregon. I'm not putting that out of my head until Roger Goodell says his name for another team.
And it's safe to say the biggest trade, the biggest news that came out is when Nick Foles went to the Rams and we got Sam Bradford, the quarterback from Oklahoma who has suffered 2 ACL injuries. And recently we also found out that the Cleveland Browns have offered the Eagles the first-round pick for him, that Chip Kelly said in his press conference after. Now, what do you see the next season? Who will be taking snaps under center for the Eagles?
I think right now you got to go with Sam Bradford. Obviously we can't 100% trust anything Chip Kelly really tells us anymore because he's endorsed Nick Foles. He's endorsed Mark Sanchez at times. He'll endorse anyone who happens to be a starting quarterback. But I think if you can put a decent O-line in front of Sam Bradford and you can keep him healthy, I think he can make some moves and actually be a decent quarterback. Now he needs better weapons because Riley Cooper is the current #1 receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles since Macklin signed with the Chiefs. But I'll be very interested to see how Sam Bradford can run this offense, especially with Pat Shurmur, who was his former offensive coordinator in St. Louis.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. I don't think this breaking news is going to stop anytime soon. We're approaching draft day, so it's exciting. The Eagles are exciting right now. But let's take a trip down to Clearwater. It's a little bit warmer right now where the Phillies are in spring training still. We're just under 3 weeks away from opening day. Cliff Lee has been placed on this 60-day disabled list. This is a gaping hole in the starting lineup for the Phillies. What are the Phillies going to do from here?
I mean, it's a huge loss. I mean, I think right now, I think Ruben Amaro said it best. I mean, he basically said we're not that optimistic, meaning that it doesn't look good for Cliff Lee. This could be the end of the career for him, sadly. Basically, they have to find obviously more starting pitching. I mean, they really didn't have it last year. You got Cole Hamels on the trade block, so really all your money is gonna go behind him to see if he can play well for you, and really it's just filling in the pieces. You brought in guys like Chad Billingsley, but he was hurt, so we don't really know if he's gonna be ready for the regular season start in the regular season. So a lot of holes to really fill.
Yeah, I think it's going to have to be next man up. I mean, Aaron Harang's battling some back soreness, but you got to figure when he's healthy. And he said he'll be healthy for the beginning of the regular season, that he'll be the number 2. And then from there on, you just got to plug in with whatever you got. I mean, no one's really out there for like a 1-year deal. I mean, what good are you really going to do in a trade? I mean, your most appealing piece right now is Cole Hamilton. Let's face it, time's ticking on him. Eventually, he'll probably be traded somewhere before the deadline. So you just got to make do with what you have and see how those young arms fare.
Yeah, and, absolutely, and it's safe to say that all Philadelphia fan eyes are on this bullpen or all on the offense this season. But let's come back to Philadelphia. The Phillies really start that streak in Philadelphia sports where it's uneasy. You know, the teams aren't doing that well. And with the Philadelphia Flyers, 10 games out of the wild card, the NHL trade deadline just happened, and they got rid of Kimmo Timonen, who is a longtime Flyer, and Braden Coburn. What were the Flyers planning to do now? It's safe to say they're out of the playoff run, so will we see a new goaltender? What needs to change before they see any success next season?
Well, I mean, I think they have to find scoring, obviously. I mean, I think the defensive moves were basically, I mean, Kimmo Timonen said he was going to retire at the end of this year. So I basically think that was just giving the Blackhawks maybe he could win a championship. And then Coburn, it was also, they had like a lot of defensemen, so they're trying to get rid of him.
Yeah, I mean, it was a smart move by Hextall, getting rid of Coburn and Timonen while their value is still high, and getting good draft picks in return, especially considering this is going to be a very deep NHL draft. So it's smart for Ron Hextall to really try to change this culture, build up the youth in this team, and make them a force from years to come. But it's going to take a couple years, so he's going to have some time on his hands.
And to wrap things up in this 4 major sports of Philadelphia, we have the Sixers, who, you know, most of the news is this Sam Hinkie plan, this big plan that we're going to see. It's a 5-year plan. We're going to see a lot of success from this team. After this year, we have about a month of regular season play. What did you see develop of his plan? Is there trade incentives on the team? Is there a potential player that is going to be drafted that we see as the next star? What are your thoughts, Tom?
I mean, basically, the plan is basically just to try to kind of figure out, just to kind of get a draft player. I mean, you have a lot of good players this draft, and hopefully they can get one of them.
Well, thank you both for joining us. It was a great discussion. We look forward to see how Philadelphia sports will wrap up. But be sure to find us on the web, as well as the rest of LaSalle TV, on Facebook at facebook.com/LaSalle TV. You can tweet at us at LaSalle TV Philly, or email us your thoughts at lasalletv@lasalle.edu. If you missed the scoop and want to see it, you can find episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/LaSalle56. Until next time, for Corey Matterson and the entire crew, I'm Steve Graham. Thanks for watching LTV News, where the action never stops.